Hey, it's Jordan, and I want to share kind of a crazy story with you. A few years ago, Bob Golden invited me to the House of Blues at the Foundation Room at the Mandalay Bay in Vegas for a magic show. And after the show, we met a couple of women, and one of the women, her name is Loren Slocum. We've become very close friends. And Loren told me a crazy story that I want to share with you. So there's a bookstore in Vegas that she likes to go into, and there's a guy that works in there that's kind of a jerk to her every time she goes in. But it's a store that she likes, and so periodically she will go in there. And she had written a book called Life's Tune-Ups that ended up on Oprah's book list, and it did very, very well. And she'd also been involved in the Tony Robbins organization. She wrote one of Tony's main courses on Fiji. And she wrote a second book. The first book did very well. Then she wrote a second book called No Greater Love. The first book was called Life Tune-Ups. Second book was called No Greater Love. And she wrote the second book expecting it to do really well. It's a book that she really, really had a lot of heart for, and it didn't do well. And she ended up with 5,000 copies. She gave a few away, but most of the copies she still had in her garage, and was kind of baffled why the book didn't sell. One afternoon, she was with her son, I believe, and she was by the bookstore that she likes, and she needed to go in there and get a book, but she didn't want to go in because that guy that's always a jerk to her, she thought he might be working, and she didn't want to really go in there, but she thought, well, I'll just run in, grab the book, and run out. So she goes in with her son. Sure enough, the guy's working in there. She gets the book she wants. She goes over to the counter, and she just wants to get rung up and get out of there, right? And he's got his sleeves rolled up, and he's got tattoos on both arms. And she looks down, and on one of his forearms is tattooed a quote, and it's her quote from one of her books, from No Greater Love. And she says to him, "Where did you get that tattoo?" And he's being a jerk, and she goes, no, 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 you have to tell me where that tattoo came from. He said, well, I was working at Target, and I was going to commit suicide. And I was in the break room at Target trying to figure out, how am I going to kill myself? And there was a book sitting on the table. And I started thumbing through the pages of the book. And on one of the pages there was a quote, and that quote saved my life, and so I had it tattooed on my arm. And this is the quote that he pulled out of Loren's book that saved his life. And Loren then knew this is why she wrote the book. Well, I'm happy to tell you that thanks to Eldon and the team at SendOutCards, we now have Life Tune-Ups, the book that was on Oprah's book list, and No Greater Love, Loren's second book, that saved this guy's life. And I got to tell you, you got to get these books. They're so amazing, and they're going to be great books to send out to people that you know. So you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.